And sometimes I'm like, okay, a really strong vodka soda would help me just to be able to get through it. Yeah. And it's like, but those were the old days. Oh my gosh. I have had loyal clients for such a long time. And that speaks so much about me.
All right, guys, welcome back to the studio. Today we have a special guest, the one and only Jimmy Coco. Welcome to the studio, Jimmy.
Well, hello, Michael. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing so good. How are you?
I am great. Thank you.
Fantastic. Just to give the audience a little bit of context, we met through our mutual friend, Heather Mariana, at the Oscars Gifting Suite.
Yep.
Yeah, just in March.
I love Heather. I've been friends with Heather forever. I don't know. I want to say maybe 12 or 15 years now.
Wow.
I've been friends with Heather.
You have good history there.
Yeah, she's always been a solid friend.
Jimmy, you've got a lot going on. So when Heather introduced me, Jimmy Coco is the founder of Jimmy Coco.
Yes.
So you are the tanning go-to guy, right? The spray tan go-to guy.
Yes. And, way back when I started my business, I was the first person to ever do a mobile tanning business. So I guess that's my claim to fame. And that's what really kind of put me on the map in terms of spray tanning and mobile tanning. And I started off my business because I was a sportswear model in my 20s. I was a gymnast growing up, so it built up my physique. And then I was scouted by people to pose in swim trunks and underwear and do these catalogs. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So I did it. I have this red port wine stain birthmark on my chest, and they would cover it up with body makeup. When I learned about spray tanning, I thought, I wonder if this could help mask other imperfections that other models have. So I thought that I was just going to be able, tanning whoever needed like some sort of masking or whatever. Never thought celebrity. I just thought like maybe bodybuilders and models, but it's just the celebrity thing came.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had a wild career.
You have quite a roster too. Like you get to tan some pretty cool celebrities, which is all over your social media. So who are some of your current folks?
So if you go to Jimmy Coco at Jimmy Coco on Instagram, you can see all my clients. Who will you see on my page right now? Well, at the Met Gala, you will see Kim, Kendall, and Kylie. I've been with the family for 17, 18 years.
Wow, that's a great relationship.
I am just in awe. We have such a great relationship, all of us. We communicate really well. And I'm ready with all the options when I show up because things shift and change a lot. So it's great. So I just went to the Met Gala. That's correct. And I also I had Kim, Kendall, and Kylie. And then I had other clients of mine that needed spray tans. So I have a girl in New York named Kat that she does spray tans for me. So I brought extra solution for her so she could do my other clients. So I had Olivia Wilde, Daisy Edgar Jones from Twister. I also had Ashley Graham, and there was a fourth one that I'm forgetting that I can't remember. Anyway, but I had a full roster. It was amazing, and it was just so great to just do more iconic work with
You're
them.
not just in LA, you're everywhere. Like you go to New York, wherever Jimmy's called, Jimmy goes.
I go all over the world.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll go with the girls to Paris Fashion Week.
Wow.
I'll go wherever it is last year I was asked to leave on a moment's notice to another country. And I was like, okay, she must really need me if it's a last minute thing. So I had other clients that I had to get my other two girls here in LA on, but I made it work. Yeah. I made it work. Everybody here was taken care of, and they all have different, tanning recipes.
Yeah.
And I was able to get out of town in like 4 hours and meet.
I like that. That's I like that word recipes for the tanning because everyone's got a different skin tone or aesthetic that they want to deliver to the audience, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they want a rapid, which they could rinse off in 3 hours or whatever.
I was just going to ask you, how long does a typical spray tan last?
So it lasts about a week. There are some tans that I have that don't last as long, but my clients will ask for the one that doesn't last as long because they want to get a fresh one and the one that lasts longer for like a trip or something.
Yeah.
So generally a week to 10 days. My brand, The only complaint that I get is that it lasts too long, which is great.
Yeah.
I love that it lasts a long time.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a really good problem to have because you don't want it washing off too soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking off camera and throughout the week, and I was telling you, my platform is mental health, and when you look good, you feel good.
Absolutely.
And that's something you're definitely bringing for your clients.
Oh my gosh, from my clients. And I'll get random people that'll call me and just say they need to pick me up. And so we'll do a beautiful spray tan for them, and it's like it pulls them right out of whatever, hole of a situation that they were like stuck on.
Yeah.
And it just elevates you. Even myself, even if I'm having a bad day or a bad week, which I'm having a rough week right now, and we'll talk about it because it's really testing my mental health.
Yeah.
I'll ask my assistant Fabiola, I'll say, can you meet me over at the studio? Because I have a place in Beverly Hills. Will you meet me at the studio and give me a spray tan? And she always says yes. She's so sweet, and she always does it. And I always feel great after I get my spray tan. So it really is a great mental health boost.
Yeah, it looks so natural too. I remember getting spray tans when they first came out. I was trying them out. I have got to get away from the tanning bed because I will use a stand-up sometimes.
Yeah.
But there's something to that. When you look good, you feel good, and a tan really does give you that extra kick. It always has for me. It does. You do feel better. Your skin looks more healthy.
Because of that, people, when I show up, everyone's really happy to see me.
Yeah.
So it's not like the dentist. Or
you have good
really
energy too. So they're not just happy to see you because you're getting a tan. You have good energy. I remember when I met you right off the rip. You have great, honest eyes.
Oh, thank you.
And a great energy about you.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that I bring to my career that I just have naturally and other people don't. Yeah, so I'm very blessed. I'm so happy. I'm happy that I am the person that I am doing what I do for others.
I love it. And you love doing what you're doing.
I love doing it.
It shows.
Yeah, I love coming through for people.
Yeah.
If anyone asks me for a favor and it's within reason and I can do it, I love to be able to come through for people.
Absolutely. And I've always subscribed to, I like to maintain my fitness, but if you can't tone it, tan it, right?
Exactly. Oh my gosh, yes. So I was like, and we'll talk peptides, but I was like taking this peptide and I'm like, is it working? Is it not working? And so I was kind of pale because I hadn't been keeping up on my tan. And then, so I went over to my studio and had my assistant spray tan me. I'm like, oh my God, it's working. It's working.
I love it.
Yeah.
So your patience has been tested this week. We were talking throughout the week, and this topic is something that I experience all the time.
Yes.
So let's dive into your stressor of the week. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it has been, well, it happened like a month ago and then it just happened again. So apparently I am in iPhone jail. I do not know how on earth, but my iMessage has been blocked due to reports of spam. And it's like, okay, so that's not possible because nobody would report my number for spam.
Right.
So I'm like, what is going on? So I call and I talk to Apple Care and they're like, oh, well, there's patterns coming from your phone. I'm like, what patterns are coming through from my phone? And then they're telling me that Apple has changed the way, I don't know. They're giving me like something like, maybe my habits haven't changed, but the way Apple looks at your habits has changed or something. And I'm like, that is so crazy because all I text are my clients, my friends and family, my loved ones. I mean, even people that I meet that are new, they get a different number because I have a second number that until I build trust with those people, I won't give them my actual number. So I keep my actual number. Anyway, so I guess, so I went into the Apple store a few times, and even when I called, I'm like, begging them to believe me that, look, I don't do that. I don't know how. I don't know how to do spam. I don't know how to do that.
Right.
But I'm a victim of spam daily. Healthcare, loans, whatever it is, donate to the police department, whatever it is. So at first I thought, am I in trouble because I report too much spam? Because that's what I thought it was at first. And they're like, no, you've been reporting. I'm like, what is going on? So I had 3 trips to the Apple store. We almost wiped my phone. So they reset the settings. And so when they reset the settings, of course, my phone was like all like different again. Like
that's
the ringer
mental
was different.
duress right there.
Yes.
Got to change all your passwords.
All the passwords.
Trust me, I'm with you.
And so then they were talking about wiping the phone. I'm like, oh my God, all the email passwords. Like, what happens when you wipe your phone? I haven't done that in such a long time. I was just really scared.
Right.
And they said, or change your number. And I'm like, I've got to get to the bottom of this because
well, this is your business.
I'm not doing anything wrong. So
right.
Anyway, so I saw this guy at the Apple store. He said that we wiped the settings, but not the whole phone. And then he said, if it's still not working, come back when you're mentally prepared to wipe your phone. So I was like, I can't keep going on like this because clients are calling me because I'm not receiving their texts.
Right.
So it's really stressful. And I had a new client that I was supposed to see, and I don't like to start off on the wrong foot with anyone, especially a new client, and they can't reach me. It's like, and then it's embarrassing to say, listen, I'm at iPhone jail right now.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
Just text me on WhatsApp. So everybody's on WhatsApp until further notice. So anyway, I went back, and finally this lady, I begged her, I was like, please, you have to believe me. I'm not doing anything. She goes, I've seen this before. It looks like what happened to a couple other people is someone got a hold of your number and they tried to open up other Apple IDs off of your number. So they blocked your number. So your number is on the blocked list, which is why you're unable to receive iMessage. And I was like, okay, so you believe me? And she was like, yeah, it's nothing that you've done. And I was like, oh my God, I just had this huge sigh of relief because I felt like I was a criminal and I was being punished by, they're telling me you have to find another means of communicating with your clients. And I'm just like, what is going on? So it's been really, really stressful.
Yeah. My God. I mean, I go through that too. Our businesses run through our phones, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's a lot.
Yes.
And then you have these high profile clients trying to contact you and it makes you feel like you've done something wrong and it's a bad look. You're thinking, even though they trust you,
of course,
you just don't want to have that looming over your head. Like there could be a sliver of mistrust or a doubt.
And because I answer right away, usually within 5 to 10 minutes, when I don't answer, then they become worried.
Right.
That maybe am I okay?
Yeah.
So I get these frantic calls. Jimmy, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm okay. Why? Well, you haven't responded to any of my texts. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
All this technology has taken a toll on our mental health.
Oh my gosh. Because I don't, even if I start business off through email, I eventually do my best to get it onto text.
Yeah.
Because I'm better on text.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it's just instant, right? And and you like to reply right away.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. I mean, with all that going on, well, just starting a business in itself is a feat these days. And you've got some longevity behind you and you've got great relationships with your clientele. What are some of the things that you do to keep, we were talking about peptides. I mean, and I know you like to work out. So what are some of the other things that you like to do as far as keeping yourself tip top to deliver for your clients?
So I definitely take medication. I am an advocate of whatever medication you can get on to help kind of like stabilize whatever it is. I grew up, my dad sadly passed away in a car accident. It's a really weird car accident. They went off into a ditch and then from the ditch over a cliff. So it wasn't like a crazy, like big car accident. It was like this weird thing that happened. They went off the edge and they opened the door to check like what's going on, and the car went down.
Wow.
And killed my dad. So I grew up with a stepdad that was not he was not nice. He was very he was physically and verbally abusive. So I bit my nails, and my nails were bit all the way down to the cuticles. I was constantly nervous. In grade school, it was kind of like, queer, faggot, queer. It was just Sacramento is not the place to be gay, at least not where I lived. So, and I was still trying to like figure it out. And I was just like, if I wasn't getting it at home, I was getting it at school. So I was always on edge and like just biting my nails and always nervous. Later in life, I discovered alcohol, and alcohol calmed my stress, but I couldn't continue on that path because that path went awry. So I finally saw a psychiatrist, and I was diagnosed with the panic disorder that I have, the anxiety. He said that I may have bipolar, but he thinks it's ADHD, but we're going to try this medication for the side effect because the side effect could help. So I was like, okay, so this guy knows what he's talking about. So we got on this journey of medication. And at first, it was just awful. It was awful. And it's sort of like trying a medication is sort of like doing R&D for a spray tan product. So imagine if you're developing a fragrance. You can spray the fragrance, you can smell it, you want to know how long it's going to smell like for the day, and that's it. With a tanning product, you have to test the wear, and the wear is like for a week long, right?
Yeah.
So it's a long process to to develop one product. Anyway, so same thing with with antidepressants and psych medication. It's like sometimes you have to stay on it for 2 weeks. And so I would take a medication and I would wake up and it's like I was afraid to walk down the stairs to go down and get my coffee. It was like I was such a zombie.
Yeah.
And, I was introduced to some really crazy medication, and it was really hard to stay in that
state of mind
program
Yeah.
of like, oh my gosh, am I really going to do this? Can I really do this?
Mm-hmm.
So I am so glad that I stuck it out. I eventually got on something that I was finally happy, but I was 30 pounds heavier. And when I decided I wanted to get back in shape, I couldn't get back in shape because the 30 pounds weight gain from the medication, you can't lose it. It's like it's something with your brain. And so I couldn't really hike. The weight was too much on my knees and my ankles. And so I went back to my psychiatrist. I said, you're not going to believe this, but we have to try some other medication because I need to be able to hike. I got to work out. You know what I mean? And I've always been physically fit. I was a gymnast as a kid, so I love physical fitness and outdoors. So we tried this other medication, Wellbutrin. And we started the medication and I was like, oh, this feels like we're getting somewhere. And so, and then I was thinking, but I'm not there yet. I think I'm like right at the starting line. So I was like, I think I'm at the starting line of something. And he said, okay, let's increase the dose. So then we increased the dose and I was like, wow. And so I took it and then we ended up increasing the dose to the maximum that you can take. And the first time I took that dose, it was like the top of my head came off and all the fog came out of my head. I finally, for the first time in my life, had a clear head.
Wow.
It was so clear. And I could remember things. I could have conversations with you without like over talking. I quit biting my nails. Look at my fingernails.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I get manicures. It's crazy. Yeah, and having really bad nails was part of my identity. So even my family, they're like, they cannot believe my hands when they see me.
Wonderful.
It shows how much more calm I am.
Yeah.
But did you hear, I guess RFK, he had this Make America Healthy Again, like last week. He had
campaign,
this summit.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's starting these initiatives to get doctors to start weaning their patients off of their antidepressants and all of their medications.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't hear about this.
I was like, I needed an anxiety pill just like listening to the NPR story. Yeah. I'm like popping propanol just so I can I'm
process that, right.
Oh my God, it's like, we're all very unique creatures.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And we all have different backgrounds. Some of us were born into very loving homes with all the support. I was not.
Right.
So all the things that I was missing and all the things that kind of happened to me as a child, I'm not claiming victim, but just the way it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't all bad, but just I was very nervous. It sort of, I landed where I landed. Very nervous, fearful, insecure, all of those things. And so it's just hard. It's hard to hear someone say that they want to interrupt someone's, peace. Like I finally got to peace of mind.
Yeah.
And to think that I just don't know. Does he have any, experience?
Some people are just ignorant. And so I've worked in the mental health field for 30 years. And so I started out as an entry-level direct support, integrating young men and, folks of all ages, really, from the institutions. They were closing the institutions down, and it was my job to integrate men with the diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia into residential homes, into the community.
Yeah.
And going from back then, this is like 1996, 97, 98, they were closing these institutions down, and institution life was all abuse and torture and over-medicated folks.
Oh my gosh.
And, so I really know the power of medication, and I think it's whatever works for an individual, right? We all have our own individual blueprint.
Absolutely.
Some people can go the holistic route, and that works wonders for people. Other people, no.
Right.
And medication helps.
Yeah.
And it's all about, like you said, I think in the institutions back then, it was like a lot of people were guinea pigs, and there were people that just were over medicated and ultimately lost their lives. But we've come so far, I think, with the meds, and like you said too, there's side effects to medications like weight gain. But if you're willing to commit, yourself to the process and find what works for you, like you have, that's a true testament of strength and perseverance.
So, speaking of like over medicalizing and over prescribing, that's what RFK is saying that the doctors are doing. And so I'm just like, okay, if he has evidence of that, I'd really like to see that. But, we're all unique, and we all sought help for a reason. And if we found peace, then leave us alone. But he's even saying, I remember he even said that antidepressants and psych meds are leading people to gun violence. And so he's trying to say that, that's leading people to like gun violence. And I'm like, I think that what we're watching in the movies might lead somebody to gun violence before a happy pill. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard that myself. I'm not a political person, so I don't keep up just because I can't tune into that stuff. It's just like we've suffered enough.
Yes,
right?
We have.
Like with the technology and everything else, like I can't take all that on. I'm like, just leave people alone and let them do what works for them, right? Fuck.
Yeah.
Let me get a spray tan and feel happy.
I know. And also talking about, the side effects of the medication too. And then I'll get off this topic because he was saying how that we don't understand the side effects of the medication when we're onboarding the medication. And it's like, okay, so if you're not talking to your doctor, if you don't have good communication, of course you don't know. But I had really good communication with my doctor. My doctor warned me and talked to me about everything. One thing I learned about the medication, the really great medication that I still take, is that at times it could cause a little bit of anxiety. And the anxiety could at times be kind of bad. But the benefits outweighed that.
Well, that's good.
So I stayed on it, and so I just the anxiety sort of kind of went away, but I do keep anxiety medication around my neck. I always have it with me just in case, and just knowing that I have it. Yeah, just right here.
Yeah.
Just knowing that I have my little 10 milligrams handy is good enough for me. And so hopefully I don't
helps
need
keep
it.
you feel safe. And, not everybody, I think, too, like you have a positive experience and great communication with your doctor. And I think that something that people need to understand, too, is while we hear, like you hear a commercial and you hear all of the negative side effects, not everybody experiences those. There's just a portion of people that could potentially feel those side effects. So that shouldn't scare anybody off either, and you just have to be committed enough to trying to see what works for you.
And I am telling you, Michael, I cannot believe that the journey that I embarked on to here, I can't believe that I did it.
You're a strong person, Jimmy.
I
think you're a great human, and I just like I said, just when I met you through Heather, I just really like your energy and your personality, and you're a true testament to share an inspirational story for someone that's listening that may have walked a similar path or had a similar, childhood experience. And I think that I like that you said too, it wasn't all bad. Of course, like I had the same thing, right? So like I had, our parents make good mistakes and bad mistakes, right? And so I had it all peppered in throughout my entire life, and still do, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's just trying to celebrate our wins and staying positive and moving forward. And I think it's amazing that you got that far and started your business, a mobile business. You're global. I mean, that's really exciting.
Yeah,
and inspirational.
Yeah, I still, it was just an idea that turned into something really big.
When you're starting a business, for me, I didn't feel like I did. I had a few people that supported me, but I had a lot of people work against me too. Did you experience that?
Yes. So what I learned was becoming Jimmy Coco, I also became a target.
Yeah.
And that was the sad part. So I have a really hard time trusting people.
We have that in common.
Yeah, people, they want what you have, and they will do whatever they can to take it. And that even kind of weighs on my mental health too. Like I have a situation going on right now that I won't get too far into, but it's just very annoying, and it's disappointing.
Yeah. It's very stressful
that it's happening, but it is. And so I just have to literally, you just can't look at it. You can't think about it. You have to just, stay in your own lane. You got to focus on you, continue doing you, and let the other stuff you kind of just have to let it go.
It's great advice, and it's so hard to do. Like
I know it's so hard.
It's very lonely being an entrepreneur and starting a business like that
yes.
when you feel like you are a target. Or I'm sure, well, you have all these A-list celebrities that you have as clientele, and that's probably another thing that triggers jealousy or envy in others. And I've experienced. You can feel that energy when you think that you're in the presence of a friend, that it turns into that.
Yeah.
You can feel that energy, and you don't always have to address it with the person. You just feel it and you know it. And then that's distressing, because then right then that you have to keep that person at arm's length and kind of taper that relationship off, because as you can't have somebody in your circle that's harboring envy or jealousy towards you.
Exactly. And the sad thing, one of my really good friends, I was bartending at the time that I started the business, and I was on TV. I was doing a lot of interviews with Access Hollywood and Inside Edition, and it just became like a big story. And I lost one of my closest friends, to jealousy. He kind of stopped being my friend.
Yeah.
And he even, it was really scary to stop the bartending job to do this full time, because I was really just on my own.
Yeah.
And so it was very scary to do that. And he was pushing me out. Like, I want your shifts. Go, go, go. I'm kind of glad that he was kind of like pushing me out. But at the same time, give me a minute to like settle in and figure this out. But yeah, we're not friends anymore. He was really, really jealous. And I would always go back and say hello to all my coworkers and stuff, because, I loved them. We had such a bond working together, and we worked in a very, 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 very busy bar. And so anyway, so that was sad. I did lose some people to jealousy.
It's interesting though, because I think like if you look back at your path, because I always often have to reflect, because when you have work family, like you just referenced, it's like that feels good. It feels safe. It's your work family. And then when something good happens for you and they're not rooting you on, or they're harboring envy and jealousy, I don't carry that in my heart, because I'm always rooting for other
you're
people,
the cheerleader
right?
for everyone.
Yeah, you just want to see people succeed.
Me too.
And then when it's not returned to you, it feels weird.
Yep.
And so it changes the dynamic. But it's interesting when you reflect back, you can see. Like one of my affirmations or whatever, morning prayers, however you want to say it, is I'm always looking to purge the people that don't belong in my circle, right? And bring the people in that do. And I'm always trying to attract that.
Yes.
And you can see as you reflect back on your path, it's like who's meant to be in your life will be, and who's not won't be.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is.
So I have few today. And you're right. It's like there's a lot of, opportunistic people that live here.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we're the egomaniac capital of the world too.
It's everywhere though. Truly.
It's everywhere. Yeah. But hey, it doesn't take away the joy that I have for, I have long-standing, loyal clients, many of them. I recently had a situation with a friend who let me down. She had her chance to take advantage of me, and she did. So it was recently too, and it was really sad, because she was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And without going into the details, it's just I knew something was up.
It's like you can feel it when it's happening.
We've all been screwed over.
Yeah.
We know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And we know how it feels. And all of the flags were waving. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I think that one of my best friends is about to screw me over on something. And I felt so bad. And I was like, I'm going to lose my friend because I am so insecure. And she kept telling me that I'm just being too insecure.
It's intuition.
Yeah.
And so that was something that I had to get like because I had everybody screw me over. And it's like I kind of got to that point where I was like you really only have yourself.
Right.
So like, I mean, it's great to have a support network and people that eventually you get there, right? You do find people. And it's the people that it's like your clients become your friends, right?
Oh my gosh.
And that's
yes.
interesting because your friends are no longer your friends. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And then just once I had like situation after situation happen, I was like, am I paranoid or am I intuitive?
Right.
I was like, I needed to start tuning into my intuition because when the red flags are waving, that was like, it took me forever to pay attention to that or actually tune into it because you can see it, but you're talking yourself out of it. You're like,
you
no,
don't
this is my friend, right? Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to believe it.
I would refuse to believe it.
I was refusing to believe it. So I had a strong feeling. And so when I finally, it was money. And I was just like, I couldn't believe. And so when I finally pushed to figure out what was going on, that's when it came out.
Yep. Everything comes out in the wash.
Yes.
It always
And the
does.
crime, the cover up is worse than the crime, right? If she would have just said, hey, I need this money.
Right.
Can I take this amount of money from this job, whatever? I would have been like, look, sure.
Right.
Whatever.
It always has to come down to screwing the person over. And I don't understand that because I'm the same way. Yeah. So I'm so generous and sometimes overly generous. And that's something I've had to work on.
Me too. People pleaser?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you want to support people, you want to help people, and you want to give back and all of the things. And I'm not a greedy person, right? So, and I don't think you're a greedy person either. Just getting to know you, and you want to help the person along, but it always has to be something shady on the side, and it's like, just tell me what you're looking to screw me over for from the beginning, and we'll just move forward.
I know, because you get into this. The friendship, you become emotionally tied into this friendship.
Right.
And then something happens. It's like, gosh, I wish. But now I keep my circle super tight.
And you know how to read, you know how to listen to yourself.
Yeah. Intuition. And I just don't let a lot of people in, and I'm fine with that today.
So am I. And do you have a large employee roster, or is it pretty tight?
It's tight.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had at one point 100 employees.
And it was that's wild.
Shitload to manage. And it was like, wow. I had like all the foot soldiers, right? And then you have like your main administrative team.
Yes.
And that was usually where the problems lied, within that main team that you're trusting and counting on.
Right now too.
Because you can trust with money and checks and banks.
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder of the company, and so we have people that are running the business because they can run the business better than I can run the business. So my thing is, I'm good at what I do.
Yes.
I'm good with people. I'm great at my spray tans. I'm good at keeping my clientele happy. I'm good at always coming through for them. I am really good at that. And there are other things that I'm not good at. So I have a whole team of people that do that, and then I have girls that work under me that'll do the spray tans that I can't do when my A-list clients need me.
You're very self-aware. That's good to know for a
a
business owner. I mean, you really have to know yourself. You have to
it took me a while.
It does.
Did.
It's a journey, Jimmy.
Yes.
I mean, like we keep referencing, we've suffered enough.
I know.
Right? There's all the things to combat, and then you have all the things that come at the other curveballs that come along with, like technology and evolving in our phones, and just the self-management. And with that came like I had to cut alcohol out of my life because when I started my business, there was no room for it.
Yeah.
With that came cutting people out of my life too, unintentionally, because I still wanted to have those people in my life, but they don't want you in your life if you're not along for the ride with them. So that was interesting for me to learn as I went through that process.
I absolutely can relate. I can absolutely relate.
It's so interesting because I was like, I can still go to the bar but not drink, but they don't want to hang out with you if you're not along.
Everybody, they want and I get it. They want you to be up on their level too, and a little buzz or a little
totally
drunk.
Get it.
So for me, I couldn't stay in shape, and I couldn't make good choices if I was drinking alcohol. I would say I'm going to go and have a healthy salad and whatever at wherever I was going to eat. But then I would start off with a drink, and then I would always end up eating the chicken tenders with the fries and all that stuff, and then not feeling like going to the gym in the morning.
Right.
And going to the gym in the morning is so great for my mental health. Like, I have to go to the gym. I
Yep.
wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym because that's my time.
Yeah.
That
Mine's
is my
too. I
time.
get up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh my
the same
gosh.
story for me too, because it's
Yeah.
like you always end up with the fried foods and then you
Yep.
feel like shit. And
Yep.
I'm not a couple of cocktails kind of guy. It was
Right.
like, well, let's just rip it up throughout the
Yeah,
night, right?
yeah.
And then
So-
the gym's impossible.
Yeah, the thing for me is I would have like one or two, and then I would start to like fall asleep. So the depressant part of it actually did work for me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Then you got to fuel it up with the Red Bull.
Yeah, which
That was what I did
yeah,
too.
which I did too.
Because
yeah.
2 will put you out. It'll knock you out. And then if you got to fuel up. So it's like, and then you
Yeah.
got to amp it up for the night. And then if you're
Yeah.
a good time, then everyone wants you around all night. So you're never getting away.
Exactly.
It was a whole like downward
Yes.
spiral, right?
Yep,
You can't get out of it. It was a
exactly.
whole hamster wheel. But
Yeah.
I found my way into wellness, and so after cutting that out, it was like I was able to focus on my body. I got into the best shape of my life.
Yep.
I mentally felt fit.
Yep.
Like I had just mental clarity, brain fog lifted. My diet changed because when you're not drinking, you're eating clean.
Absolutely.
And it tastes good.
Yep.
And you feel better. And
Yeah.
then later down the road, I found my way to, well, when I started my business, I took on a ton of stress because then I had all the people rooting against me, and just
Yeah.
my diet changed. Then I kind of reverted back to old bad habits just to combat the stress, but that was making me more stressed.
Yeah.
And then I experienced it took a toll on my body, and then ultimately, long story short, I found my way into peptides
Yeah.
and wellness again,
Yes.
like red light therapy.
Yes.
And you were talking about some peptides too.
Yes. Well, first I want to start by saying like I have to like brag about something. So I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
Fantastic.
I just had a blood test. Nothing was out of range. Even the vitamin D. My doctor was like, your blood screening was perfect. The only thing, my kidney, but we have high protein diet, so it's always going to be a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
But she said it was she expected that, and it was fine. So I was just like, I'm going down the list, because usually like your cholesterol is off or your vitamin D is off, all these little things. And then you know, so I started eating, because my last blood test, I started eating chia seeds because my friend told me that chia seeds is good for cholesterol. So I put chia seeds in my protein shake now every
I
morning.
used to do that.
Yeah.
I've
And it worked.
fallen off from it, but I used to do it all the time.
It worked.
Yeah.
It's so great when you do something to fix yourself, and you have another blood test and you see that you fixed yourself,
Yeah.
and it's your health.
Results.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and especially because I put my body through a lot in the past, which is a whole different story.
Me too.
But now I'm taking really good care of myself. And yes, I did start some peptides. So tell me, what peptides are you taking?
I found my way to. I had so much stress took over my body. I developed a autoimmune. It's called alopecia areata. So I would lose like circle patches of hair in my beard, and it was random. So it wasn't like male pattern baldness where you could pull it off like Bruce Willis. It was like, it looked horrible.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I was determined to grow it back. And
Yeah.
and once you develop something like that, you're not eligible for like a hair transplant. Like you have to like heal it like through spontaneous remission.
Oh,
There's no
jeez.
pill for it. Like 2% of the population develops that,
Oh, my
and it was
gosh.
all stress related.
Oh, my
So I had to
gosh.
manage my stress, and so
Right.
I found my way to peptides like BPC 157,
Okay.
which is like a healing peptide,
Yeah.
and gut healing. I mean, it's an overall.
Yeah.
And then C-Max nasal spray helped me with depression, brain fog, and focus.
Okay.
Because I could be like just stressed out and all over the place, and I would do the nasal spray, and it was just like I could just focus, and it was
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
And it also helped combat depression for me. And a new one for me. Those I've been doing since 2019, and so I was able to turn
Oh, a
everything
long
around with
time.
those results.
Yeah.
And the other one that's newer to me is NAD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'm
familiar
familiar
with
with
that
NAD. I take NAD.
Okay.
So I hurt my shoulder last summer. I don't know how I hurt my shoulder, but my shoulder became very stiff, and I could no longer do bar dips. I couldn't do pull-ups. I couldn't do any of those things, and it was very painful. Even to sleep, it was extremely painful. And I had this really big collaboration that I was doing for London Fashion Week, and I I looked like my shoulders, I just felt like I looked a little crippled because I didn't have the physique that I normally do. And so I was like, I need to get on something. So I saw all these ads for Sermorelin peptide. And so I said, I'm going to try some Sermorelin. So I started the Sermorelin because I just wanted to get the maximum benefit from the workout that I was able to do with the injury.
Absolutely.
And it worked. I was so happy. So happy. I took the prescribed dose. The first month was great. And then the second month, they changed the dose on me. And I think they were overdosing me because suddenly I was getting bloated and I could never really get back to where I was. So it was such a bummer. So I had to stop that peptide. And then I did jump on NAD plus. So I take NAD like 3 days a week, a little bit. I can't take. So like I said, the medication that I take, if anything interferes with that, it has to go.
Okay.
So I can't take the full dose of the NAD plus. I can take like half of the dose of the NAD
That's so
plus.
good that you know that. And because I've always wondered about that because I don't take any medications other than like finasteride to keep the hair that I have from the alopecia.
Right.
And minoxidil, I do that one too. But so does your doctor check that for you to see if it has any effects with the medication that you take? I've always wondered.
Yes. And so for me, it's how I feel.
Okay.
So it was a feeling of overstimulated, and I don't want to feel overstimulated. I feel great, amazing where I'm at today with medication that I started taking.
That's beautiful.
I can't imagine ever stopping it. Like literally, it's been 3 years, changed my life. I'm not a nervous wreck. I can have a conversation with you. I'm not thinking about what's going on outside. My head was all over the place before. Even as a kid, I was just like rambunctious all over the place. And so I'm finally in a place where I can just be in peace and calm. So if anything, I was a little bit overstimulated. So you know how when you're trying something new, you have to like experiment, and that's what I was doing. So I just went down to like half of the dose, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. So then I decided to try Ipamorelin with the CJC 1295.
Yeah,
1295.
I'm starting CJC also.
Yeah. So I started that. So I had this weird bloating from the Sermorelin, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I took this to better myself, and I look worse than when I started. And even my brother was like, dude, the peptides are not helping you. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to figure it out. So I think I've got it figured out finally.
Well, and you understand too, like it takes commitment. You have to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. Just like with onboarding medication, just like developing a tanning product, it takes time.
Yeah. You have to see if it's gonna deliver results. Usually, like my test time is like 90 days. Like give it 90 days. If I'm not getting results, then I'm done. Or if I don't like it right off the bat, if it's making me feel bad, then no.
Well, with the Sermorelin, I started dreaming like that. I was having amazing dreams every single night, waking up feeling like just a complete champion.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. It was devastating. It was devastating when it stopped working for me. Devastating.
That one I don't know anything about, so
I need to try the BPC because I think that it could heal like the final bits of my shoulder that are a little bit stiff still. Yeah. So I need to do that.
Do you have a good peptide rep? Because I got a couple I can introduce you
I'll
to.
go through yours for the BPC, like whatever it is. Yeah, and I'll take advice from you.
That one I've been on since 2019, and I truly believe in it. Like because I'm really picky about stuff. Like if it works for me, I think that I don't like to give unsolicited advice, but I do like to share with what truly worked for me.
Absolutely.
And if anyone's willing to try, because I'm always willing to try anything. Like when I went through that very stressful time, depression, anxiety, just everything that just ravaged my body and developed that autoimmune. It was like I was doing everything, like from red light therapy to tanning to sauna. I mean, name the thing, and I was willing to do it. I just wanted to feel good again. Yeah. And I'll always continue that wellness journey. So anything that I incorporated into my regimen that continued to work for me, I'll always share with anybody that's willing to listen.
Oh yeah, we want to share like all the
Yeah.
good stuff we want everyone to feel good.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I wanted to have you on to share about your business and the spray tan, because
Yeah.
nowadays too. I mean, there was someone I was talking to about this app that someone turned me on to, where you can scan in the stores like barcodes on like sunscreen and makeup and all these things, and it'll tell you like the cancer causing level of that product.
Oh,
and it was like
interesting.
sunscreen was one of the biggest ones.
Wow.
And then you get into the tanning beds and all the things. And if you have a business like yours where you're doing the spray tan and it's safe, it's effective, and those are good things to share with people.
Yeah, and it's instant gratification.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get a tan right now. It lasts a week. Sometimes I'll be like, a little down. And like I said, I need a little pick me up, and it's a spray tan. I've got a fading spray tan now. I did a little touch up on my face before I came over.
Very natural, I got to tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And it's just that boost of confidence. Like when we used to like do like a shot of vodka before we went out, now it's a little bit of face spray.
Isn't it funny how we've evolved? Yes.
Oh my God. A shot of vodka turned into a little zhuzh.
Pre-gaming is different now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that you've got such an inspiring story. I think that it's fantastic. And just for any entrepreneur that goes through the stress and anxiety of starting up, losing friends, making new friends, having clients that turn into friendships, that's huge. And you're
shaking off the ankle biters too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, it can be so annoying sometimes, and it can take a toll on your mental health. It's like, okay, could you just stop paying attention to me? Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, you get to do
your
such
own thing.
cool stuff. I mean, you're running around with the Kardashians, and you're jet setting off to Paris and the Met Gala and all these cool things. And while someone like me is like, yeah, go, like other people are ankle biters, right? And you gotta shake them off, and that's always gonna be, and that's just unfortunate. But the win for you is to know it and combat it, and you know how to do it.
So going back to the story of the friend that just recently kind of screwed me over, it's still very fresh. It still hurts. She doesn't, I don't know. All I can say is, I don't want to go too far onto what I was about to say. I just want to say that right after it happened, I was at Kylie's house waiting to tan her. She walked in the room and it clicked. It clicked. Oh my gosh. I have had loyal clients for such a long time. And that speaks so much about me. And it literally, it hit me because I was looking at the other situation of what happened, and that just wasn't the case. And so I was like, okay, so now I know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it hit me. And I was just like,
the interesting thing too, like I love that you brought that up because it's fresh. You mentioned it's fresh, and it never hurts any less. Like I think you never become numb to it, because people are like, aren't you used to that yet? Like, yeah, people do that. No, I'm not used to it. I'm never going to get used to that.
I know, because we trust people until they give us a reason not to.
Exactly.
And
trust
then,
is a must. And that's how I start any relationship. It doesn't matter in any capacity. If it's business or friendship, whatever it is, I'm trusting you till you give me a reason not to. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
How can you proceed unless you have that trust in the beginning?
You have to kind of go all in.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's just been my process, and what's for different strokes for different folks. But that process, I think, serves me best. And you're never going to get around people that are like that anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything comes out in the wash. And the interesting thing is that some people are just really good at wearing that mask until it falls off. But when it falls off with a thud.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And also, what I thought you were going to say, wearing the mask of like, just keeping a really positive outlook, even when things are really bad.
Yeah.
Like, especially when I was going through that situation that we just talked about.
Yeah.
And I had to show up to my clients, and I was like, literally like almost crying in the car. I just felt so, it was just a betrayal.
Betrayed,
Yeah, I felt so bad. And then you can't drag that in to your appointment. You go
That's
into your
hard.
appointment. I know. So sometimes it's hard. So that's another mental health thing. You got to be able to switch it up. But right when they walk in the room, it's like, I'm good.
I love that.
I'm good.
I
Right when
remember,
they walk in.
I love that you brought that piece up, because I remember when I was starting my business, I had experienced so much betrayal and so much just fuckery. And
Yeah.
I had to go and meet with a group of folks, and it was about business. And I had like, I don't know, an anxiety attack, something in my car. And I had to go in and do that meeting. And I was able to do it, but I had this overwhelming sense of paranoia that they all knew.
Oh, yeah. You feel like everyone knows.
Yes.
Yes, and you have to say it. Yes. Okay, so full disclosure, 2 hours before this podcast, I had a friend call me, and I, for whatever reason, was horrible to me. Absolutely horrible. Attacked me, just personal things. And I'm just like, and it triggered my anxiety.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. So I almost called to cancel. It was
I'm
that
so
bad.
glad you didn't.
Yeah. I almost called you to cancel. I took my anxiety medication, and then I felt like, oh my gosh, is it putting me to sleep? I had to like take a picture of the pill and put it in Google. Like, did I take the right pill? Because
Right.
I went from, but I was like so rattled that I couldn't even, anyways, it was so difficult. So I got here early, and I went to the weed store.
Yeah.
I don't smoke weed.
I don't either.
My birthday is on the weed day, 4/20. Yeah, that's my birthday.
I love it.
So I thought it was a coffee shop because I got out of the Uber, and then I'm walking up because there's a store right next to you. And there was
Yes.
this lady sitting at a table, and I thought she had a cup of coffee sitting there. So I walked in, I'm like, hi. And then I see a case in the back, and I'm like, oh, they're going to have cookies and brownies and all this stuff. It was all weed stuff.
I know. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So I asked the guy, I said, he goes, hi, can I see your ID? And I said, for coffee? And then he was like, no, did you come here for coffee? We have coffee downstairs. I said, you do? And then I was thinking, wait, do I need coffee? If I have anxiety, is it going to make it worse? And then I was like, but then I was still tired. So I was like, I know I need sugar. So I was like, okay. So I said, here's my ID. My birthday's 4/20. So there you go.
Right.
So, and then,
Oh, shit.
and then the lady, really nice lady. If you haven't been over there, you have to go downstairs. It's really cool. So I had a Kit Kat bar and a shot of espresso. And I talked to the lady and I said, I'm dealing with so much anxiety right now. You have no idea. I have to do this podcast upstairs.
I love you, Jimmy. Oh my God. Does the Kit Kat have weed in it?
Oh my God. No.
Okay.
No, it just had sugar.
Okay.
I guess I needed some sugar. And so I'm talking to this very nice lady, and she was telling me about this. She's going to this drag show this weekend, and that just literally just lit up my whole mood. I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I'm sitting here talking to this lady, because it was getting me out of the anxiety rather than if I just would have stayed outside and just came in just to talk to you, it would have taken me a lot longer to chill.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I get it. And that's so funny because the guest that I had on before you, I took a picture of the building and sent her the picture.
Yeah.
And then I took a picture of the weed shop too. And I said, there is a weed shop right next door. It's a weed/coffee shop next door. I said, just follow the scent. I was like, you'll come to the podcast studio. And I have never been in there until was it yesterday I filmed here? And then I went over to the weed shop and I wanted a coffee. I wanted an Americano, but I didn't realize like everything's kind of woven into it, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't sure because I was like, do you guys have cold brew? And they're like, no, we don't have cold brew, but we have whatever they had. And I was like, okay. And I
said, so I feel like I need a cookie or a brownie, but not a weed cookie or a weed brownie because I don't like that.
I don't do that either. So.
Yeah, I don't. But did you go downstairs?
No, is that where the fucking coffee's at?
You go downstairs for the coffee. You ask them if you can go downstairs for the coffee. Yeah.
Okay, because I like danced around outside circling because like the two guys they had the red velvet ropes outside.
Yeah.
And they were sitting at the table, and I was like circling around, and I finally peeked in, and I'm like, I don't see where's the coffee at.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's just like the
where the
dispensary
guy's
upstairs.
sitting to check your ID. There's stairs that go down right there.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I was. Thank God you told me because now I'll go down there and have.
Now
the coffee.
you have a great coffee right next door. I just had a shot of espresso, and then she was like, "We have these cookies, but they're frozen." So I was like, "How long is it going to take for them to thaw out?" Because I wanted to be here 15 minutes early. I'm always 15 minutes early. If I have to see a client at like 9 o'clock at night, I am there at 8:45. setting up to be ready right at 9.
Yes.
That's my thing. So I wanted to get here 15 minutes, talk to you, get acquainted. But I am so glad that I talked to that lady. I forget her name, and she told me her name. But I said, does it look like I have anxiety? Because you feel like it's written all over your face. And I even say that to my clients.
Yes.
I am so sorry if it feels like I'm off right now. I'm just dealing with a little anxiety, and everyone's like super cool.
Yeah.
And, but I always feel like I need to like just alert
make a disclaimer,
everyone.
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
just in case it's like across my
That's
forehead.
how I felt like in that meeting, and it felt like that throughout that whole process, because I was like, but really, like, no one really knew what was going on in my life. It feels like everyone knows.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's written all over your face, like you said, and it was so hard to get through some of those meetings, but you're wearing that mask, like pretending it's not, but you feel like with some people, I felt comfortable and safe enough to say, like, this happened to me like right before I got here. Or sometimes, like you mentioned your friend, like you're just getting ready to come here. And sometimes when people know you've got something going on, they'll intentionally like sabotage it.
And I said, I'm just getting out of the shower. I'm drying off. You called me while I was in the shower. Hey, how are you? And then it was just like, you know, I just got this attack.
Right.
And I was just like, and I said, I'm getting ready to do this podcast today, because he's like, you're not on camera enough. You don't do enough TV stuff. You need to be on camera more. So I started off with, hey, I'm doing this podcast today. You know what I mean? Because I thought that I was going to like start the conversation off good.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you can just never win, right? It's like,
it just turned out, I couldn't believe what it turned into. And then it rattled me. And then it takes time to become unrattled. You can't just like shut it off. It has to run its course. So anyone that triggers me like that has to go.
So that you make a great point. And so people ask me why I start my day at 2 a.m. because sometimes that you wake up and you're rattled, or like you
need a minute.
Something pops, a memory pops in or something that wants to trigger you in the morning. Yeah. Like, I need all this time to work out and like de-stress before the business day starts.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
because you have to de-rattle.
That's right.
That's real.
Yeah, and since my office is over in London, I wake up to stuff. You know, I'll wake up to stuff, and we have some drama going on right now, this has been a crazy week. Let me just tell you, crazy. I didn't even mention all the other stuff going on, but it's just been it's been testing me.
Yeah.
Testing. And sometimes I'm like, okay, a really strong vodka soda would help me just to be able to get through it. Yeah. And it's like, but those were the old days. Now I have to take a pill and wait for 20 minutes or 30 minutes for it to kick in. But I'm so glad that I do, because then, you know, it doesn't turn into what it used to.
Exactly. I was thinking about that the other day too, because the time goes by and it just whips by so fast, because although mine was intentional, I still wove alcohol into the mix, because I would say like, well, it's good because I'm just going to blow off some steam. Right. And so I would still weave it in, but slowly but surely, like I never made a declaration, but all of a sudden 2 years had gone by and I hadn't had a drink, and now I'm going on 3.
Wow.
And I'm just like, well, you know what I mean? That was just kind of like me leaving it alone and just focusing on myself. It wasn't something I perseverated on, like, and then when you change your circle, you know what I mean? Like everything just organically comes together and your focus shifts.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can't surround ourselves with the same people that we did when we were doing things that weren't good for us.
Absolutely. But it was funny that you mentioned the vodka soda, because I was like, I would have a vodka on the rocks or a vodka and water, right? And that would be my thing. And I would call it blowing out the cobwebs. I'm just going to blow off some steam and just relax and all that shit. But it just doesn't look like that anymore.
I know. And then it just one leads to another. Yep. So I got a letter from the IRS. All good. Fine. I got a letter from the IRS. And I was like, I wish that I could just take a shot of vodka right now just to prepare to open this envelope, right? Or like you get a scary email in the morning, you wake up to some crazy email and it's like, oh my God. So you just, now it's like, okay, I got to just like.
That was my thing when I started my business too. I hated even going to the mailbox, because I would get letters from the IRS too.
Triggered.
I had that happen a couple times. Or, you know, as soon as you hang a shingle as a business owner, people want to throw stones at it. So then you got employees or people that want to sue you, lawsuits, all the things that come up with that shit.
Yeah.
That's stressful. So it was like anytime you'd have to sign for a letter or anything, I'm like, it's a register, someone's suing me.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I just got a call last week. I got a call from someone who asked me for if it was me, and then I was like, who's calling? And they told me that I was being sued and that they were telling me that I was being sued, and I was like, what? And that they were trying to get me some important paperwork so I wouldn't miss a court date. And so I was like, okay, first of all, why are they targeting me?
Right.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're getting served, they're not warning you that you're getting served.
Right.
They're going to just find you and serve you.
Yeah.
I'm not getting sued. But it's just like, who was that and why did they do that?
And now there's just so much spam calls. So many spam
it's
calls
crazy.
anyway. You can't keep
up. But the person was so serious on the phone. And I'm like, who are you? And I wish that I knew, like, why did you do that? What were you hustling? Like, what were you trying to get?
Exactly.
And so that kills me because I want to know, but I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I go through that all the time where it was like there was a whole period of time where now I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Just bring me the papers. Do whatever you're going to do. But like there was a period of time where that would cause me a huge amount of stress and anxiety when it was just checking the mailbox or opening the mail. I'm like, now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Right.
you get those calls and it's like, or they approach you and they're like, are you? And then I'm like, no.
I know.
I pretend I'm one of my employees.
I was like, my instinct was to say, yes, it's me because I wanted to know what was going on.
Right.
But then I can't follow my instinct because it always gets me in trouble in in those situations.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, okay, you can't say it's you. That's what you want to say. Hang up the phone. So I just hung up. And then I was just like,
that's the best way to go. Now I just don't even answer the calls anymore. I'm like, I block everybody as spam.
It's so crazy because I have a spray tan studio in Beverly Hills, and so the calls come to me, and so I answer every call that comes.
Cool.
And a lot of the calls I shouldn't have answered.
Right.
But I have to answer all of them.
Yeah.
So it is where it is for now.
Yeah. It's those are your practices.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to come and tan at Jimmy Coco, how do they find you?
They go to jimmycocospraytan.la, and they can find the studio, and they can find an online calendar, and they can book there.
Cool.
They could also DM me at jimmycoco.com on Instagram.
And you travel, so you're mobile.
Yeah, and if they want a house call, sometimes they'll try to book a house call through the studio website. But it's just better if you want a house call just to ask for the house call, like send, a direct message or whatever, because I see all the messages. I know that I have other social media. I have a girl that runs the social media. She's great. So she gets like a lot of the order questions and stuff like that I don't have to deal with, but I get all the others that I can respond to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what's on the horizon for Jimmy Coco the rest of this year? You
Oh
got
my
a lot
gosh.
of good stuff going on.
Yeah, we got to shake the weird bad juju that's going on this week.
Yes.
First of all, we're going to shake that. I have some new products coming. We have some stores coming. I can't talk about stuff like right now, but we have a really exciting time. The timeline is good. So it's just more growth within the business.
Cool.
I will continue doing what I do. And doing what I do is working for me. It's working for the company. And I'm just so proud that I'm able to contribute what I can to the Hollywood beauty industry and, to my career and to the business.
Well, you're an asset to the planet, Jimmy. I think you're a great human.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk with me today.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And
I appreciate
are
it.
you going to be at Heather Mariana's Emmys? Yeah,
yes.
The Emmys Gifting
I will
Suite.
be there in September.
Fantastic. Yes, I'll be there
Yes.
too. So you're going to have to come back on. I got to have you on as a repeat guest.
Oh,
because
we will.
You
Yes.
have good inspirational stories. And,
Oh, thank you.
And you're a true testament. I think that that you have a lot to offer. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic.
I appreciate it, Michael.
Yeah. So what would you like the audience to take away? If you could tell the audience one thing to take away from this podcast, what would that be?
So I started this business and it just became what it became. And I've tried to keep my integrity. There's a lot of people out there that don't have integrity. And I just feel like if you have integrity, success will come. And just be yourself and don't compromise that for anyone.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
perfect. I love that you referenced integrity, and you're right. Not a lot of people have that, and you do, and I think that's fantastic.
Yes.
Yes. So, well, it's been such an inspirational chat, and I know that you've inspired many that are listening, and that's fantastic.
Thank you.
So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
The
I
one and
appreciate
only
it.
Jimmy Coco. That's a wrap.